What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we have more news when it comes to Social Security. Right now, there are a lot of different hearings that are going on. So in the Senate, there was another hearing where they were talking with the Treasury Secretary Yellen, and it got a little out of hand. So I want to play that clip for you. And this is about Social Security cuts and just a plan for Social Security in general. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And one more reminder, follow me on Twitter at the TEC Show Live. I also post videos there. So once I post my video on YouTube, I will send a link to my Twitter. So if you're not getting notified, it's a good way to get notified. If you're getting notified, then you'll get notified twice. You'll get notified on YouTube as well as on Twitter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. This is Senator Angus King. He's going to be talking about Social Security, and pretty much they're working. This is a nonpartisan group. So you have Senator King, you have Senator Cassidy. Cassidy will also be in this clip. And they are working on this nonpartisan bill to move forward when it comes to reforming Social Security. Now, they have different ideas, and I'm just going to let you know that from the start. Senator Angus King doesn't want to raise the full retirement age. He doesn't even want to raise taxes. And so the plan that he's talking about is much different than the plan that Cassidy is talking about. Senator Cassidy does want to raise the full retirement age, and they've been talking about some other things as well. And so they are trying to get together and put together a plan. But right now, you're seeing these senators lash out at the White House, lash out at President Biden and say, why isn't President Biden put a plan forward? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that at the end of this video. But I'm going to play the clip first. Here we go.
Something happened in Senate Finance while you were in armed services with Janet Yellen and Senator Cassidy on the subject of Social Security. You've been working with Senators Cassidy and others on trying to come up with some bipartisan agreement on Social Security. Well, Senator Cassidy just went at her for the way he feels the president's budget ignores any fix to Social Security. Let me play that for you.
But the $4.5 trillion in taxes he has proposed, not a dime is going to shore up Social Security. Does the president know personally anybody who is dependent upon Social Security, and if their benefits are cut by 24%, they will slide into poverty? It's hard for you to know, so I'll give you a pass on that.
The president knows many people on Social Security.
Then why doesn't the president care?
He cares very deeply.
Then where is his plan?
He stands ready to work with Congress.
That's a lie, because when a bipartisan group of senators has repeatedly requested to meet with him about social, so that somebody who is a current beneficiary will not see her benefits cut by 24%, we have not heard anything on our request.
Senator, where do you stand on this? Social Security is once again becoming the third rail of American politics going into 24.
Well, what Senator Cassidy's referring to, that is in 9 years, Social Security goes insolvent. And by current law, this isn't anything anybody will actually have to take action on. By current law, when that happens, automatically benefits will be cut by around 24%, as he said. That's the risk. It's 9 years away. There is a group of us that have been working on this. I'm a little more sanguine about a meeting with the president than Bill Cassidy. But I think this is something that we have to attend to, and we may not be able to solve all the problem right now, but I think there are steps that we can take that don't involve cutting benefits, don't involve increasing the retirement age, don't involve increasing taxes, but there are steps that we can take now to begin the process, and that's what I'm hoping we're going to be able to discuss with the president.
Okay, so that was Senator King talking about this whole situation when it comes to the negotiations. And so you have Senator Cassidy that was in the clip. He wants to meet with the president. But the reality is, whatever happens needs to start in Congress. And I've said this in previous videos. It has to start in Congress. And what should happen, what we should see, is we should see this bipartisan group of senators get together, negotiate a bill, and put that forward. Let us see the plan. And then once we see the plan, that's when you can start negotiating with the White House, because you have to pass it through Congress before it even gets to the president. And so meeting with the president now, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really benefit anyone at this point, because the president will be the last person to sign off on this. And so they need to get it through Congress first, because what is going to happen is if you want to meet with the president, let's say you have this bipartisan group of senators, they get together, they put a plan together. The president also gets together, he puts his plan together, and then they start exchanging information. They start negotiating. Well, you still have the House. This bill still needs to get through the House before it gets to the president. So let's say the Senate, these senators negotiate with the president, they come to an agreement, but the House is not on board. And so now you've wasted time, because when it comes down to it, the Senate, they'll go ahead and pass it. They'll send it to the House, and the House, they might not pass it. And if they don't pass it, it never gets to the president. So right now, what they should be doing is they should be meeting with the House. So you should have this nonpartisan group of senators meeting with the House leadership, to try to see if they can come to some type of a deal when it comes to Social Security reform. And then at that point, now you can go to the president and say, this is what we have. Do you agree or do you disagree? And if the president agrees, then there's no problem. They pass it in the Senate, pass it in the House, goes to the president, he signs off on it. If the president disagrees, then that's when they're going to have to negotiate with the White House. But right now, it's premature. Right now, they need to be talking with the House to try to figure out if they're on the same page to move something forward. Because it doesn't matter if the president likes a plan or not right now. It doesn't matter, because we have split government. We know that. So in the Senate, you have Democrats running the Senate. In the House, you have Republicans running the House. And so that needs to be a bipartisan bill that they need to come together with. Now, it's going to be very hard, and I try to keep this clear. It's going to be very hard for them to get this passed in the Senate and get this passed in the House, just because of the makeup right now, just because of the way things are. And you're going to have some politicians on both sides that are just going to say, no, it has too much in it, or no, it doesn't have enough in it. And they're not going to want to budge when it comes down to it. That's why they're trying to build this bipartisan group in the Senate, but you also need a bipartisan group in the House in order for this to move forward. And that bipartisan group has to consist of the Speaker, McCarthy, because if McCarthy's not on board, he doesn't have to bring it to the floor. And if he doesn't bring it to the floor, you're not going to get a vote anyway. And so we're going to have to see what happens with this. But I think this is another way just to grandstand. Senator Cassidy was on there just grandstanding, basically saying, look, this is, we can't meet with the president. He's not working with us. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. When the reality is he doesn't even need to negotiate with you right now. You need to get the bill first. If you can get the bill passed, then that's when you can start talking. Or if you can just get something on paper, you don't even have to pass it yet. Once you get something on paper, then there's something to talk about. But if you don't have anything on paper, then what are they talking about? They're just going to go and have a meeting with the president, just like Speaker McCarthy did the same thing when they were talking about the debt ceiling and some type of a budget. You have a meeting with the president, nothing really comes of it, because in the House, you still don't have a budget. They still haven't put forward a budget. The president put forward his budget. The Speaker has not put forward a budget yet. So they can't even negotiate, because they don't know what the Speaker wants. All they know is that the White House put their budget together, and the Speaker, of course, tore that budget apart, but they haven't put anything forward. So you need to have something in order to start negotiating. If you don't have anything, then there's nothing really to negotiate at that point. And so we're going to continue to follow this, but you're seeing these senators, they're using the same playbook. Mitt Romney was doing this a couple of days ago. Now you have Senator Cassidy, the same thing. Well, they don't want to meet with us. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. When the reality is you can get things done on your own. You don't need to meet with the president. It's going to come from you first anyway. You have to initiate this. And we're going to keep going in circles until you actually have real leaders in the Senate and in the House that get together and say, look, this is the plan. This is what we're moving forward with. Then show it to the president, and hopefully they can negotiate something. But until we see that, it's not going to go anywhere. And this is just a way, and I think Senator Cassidy knows this, this is just a way to kind of buy time. You can buy time by saying, you know what, the White House isn't speaking with us. They're not going along with us, but you don't have anything on the table. Well, I don't have anything on the table because they refuse to talk to me. Well, if you bring something forward, maybe they'll talk to you because they'll know what you want to do. They'll know what your plan is. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.